April, it's really good to see you. We have some big news. Congress finally passed Secure Act 2.0. We're going to talk through some new opportunities and some big changes to tax planning. I think that this is such big news. It's a huge way to end 2022, but we've talked about Secure Act before. So, what's new?
We have, and there's just so much to keep track of in the last couple of years because so many of the rules keep changing. A lot
Right.
of people still adjusting to the first Secure Act that was passed at the end of 19, went into force January 1, 2020, and now here we are with another Secure Act 2.0 with a whole new set of rules. So, a lot of opportunities that come with those, especially for those who are retirement age, those are who are planning actively and proactively for retirement with required distributions, with contributions. There are so many things where, frankly, we're all still sifting through the thousands of pages to make sure we know what all of those updates are.
Right. That's why I really value having the time to talk to you because you are such a great resource. And I want to walk through some of those opportunities. One of them that you mentioned is in regards to tax planning and specifically the changes to those required minimum distributions.
Yes. So for forever, required minimum distributions were age 70 and a half. Secure Act changed that in 2019, effective 2020 to 72. Now that finish line, if you want to call it that, is changing again. This is a great breakdown just to show, based off of what year that you were born in, when you will have to take your required distributions. So up until very close to the end of 2022, everyone who was turning 72 next year thought that they were going to have to start taking those required distributions, but now they won't have to until age 73. And then there's another age band that's been thrown in there where they're tiering this out so that eventually the R&D age will become age 75.
Okay. And another really interesting opportunity here, a big change with 529s. Explain what's different.
Well, one of the hesitations, if you will, that sometimes people have with 529s is, what if my child doesn't end up having qualified education
Yeah.
expenses and it just doesn't work the way that we want it to? Now there are going to be provisions where over your lifetime you can have $35,000 go from a 529 directly into a Roth, which it really kind of
Wow.
addresses a couple of things. Now, people who had that question or concern to begin with, they don't really have to worry about it. They can have the benefit now, and if they don't need it for those qualified expenses, they can defer it into a Roth. So it really kind of allows us to have our cake and eat it too.
Yeah, a lot of tax benefits to Roths. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
And another significant opportunity here is some changes to QCDs, qualified charitable distributions.
Qualified charitable distributions are distributions that you can send directly to a qualified charity of your choice from your qualified account. So, for example, from your IRA. And in the past, qualified charitable distributions have not been inflation adjusted. They've remained the same. Starting in 2024, there will be an inflation adjustment to the qualified charitable distributions that can be made. And starting in 2023, it's looking like there are going to be some unique one-time opportunities for larger QCDs to be done as well. So a lot still developing there, but some expanded opportunities for those who are charitably inclined and who are trying to keep their overall taxes down on distributions from their qualified accounts.
Mhm. QCD is just great. Win-win for everybody. I love talking that through. So, I want to talk through one more thing because as you mentioned, there's so much to sort through here, but you mentioned something that you believe they missed out on explaining. What is that?
Well, one of the things that I think was possibly an inadvertent miss was the changes that took place as a result of the first Secure Act in 2019, which really significantly impacted beneficiaries of
Mm.
IRAs, more specifically beneficiaries who are what are called non-eligible designated beneficiaries, which is quite the mouthful. But in essence, just to simplify things, for all intents and purposes, it's usually when it's not a spouse who's inheriting the IRA. And the understanding originally was that the account was going to have to be emptied within 10 years. And that was what the understanding was for a couple of years. It was, in fact, all the way until 2022 that the IRS provided some guidance and said, no, it's not just that the IRA has to be emptied within 10 years, but you've also got to take required minimum distributions every year. So it's both. And they went back and said, you're not going to have to take those retroactively to 2020 and to 2021, but you're going to have to take those in 2022. And that was also very recent, not long before Secure Act 2.0 was passed as well. And I think a lot of people, including myself, were hopeful that there would be less ambiguity there, that they would perhaps eliminate the required distribution component, since they're now forcing those funds out and taxes paid within 10 years. But that did not happen with Secure 2.0.
Okay. Well, that is such an important note. And clearly, there is a lot to talk through. This can affect a lot of people. So, if somebody has any questions about how the Secure Act 2.0 will affect them, what's the best way to reach you with any questions?
You can reach us any time of day through our website, theretirementfamily.com. Submit a contact us on our website, or you can call either of our offices in Snellville or Suwanee, and we're happy to walk you through all of these changes.
All right. April, thank you very much.
Thank you, Erin.